welcome back to my channel. For this video, it's going to be a short video. I found an article talking about 5 things a person should know when they're first diagnosed with a neuromuscular disease, like muscular dystrophy. This article was created last year, Thursday, August 24, 2023. So I'll get into it. This is what it says. Sometimes we think we have life figured out, but then in the blink of an eye, things can change. Exactly. You know, things change every day. You never know what can happen. This is what it says. I lived 30 years of my life healthy and active. Imagine that. 30 years of your life living healthy and active with no trace of having no neuromuscular disease. Imagine that. But life can go in the blink of an eye. Sports, especially basketball, have been a passion of mine since I was a kid. I played throughout my life and even had a career in sports media at ESPN. Imagine having a career, being 30 years of life and being a sports media and working for ESPN, one of the largest, sports media out there. And this is what I said. Just past the age of 30, how things started to change for me. Yeah, this is a story about someone named Billy Zureikat. Sorry if I pronounced that name wrong. While still playing basketball recreationally with friends, I started to experience balance issue, which led to falls. As time went on, I began losing muscle mass and strength in my legs to the point that I had trouble with simple tasks like climbing stairs or even standing up without pushing without my upper body. Basketball was off throughout. I could no longer jump or run. I also didn't have an idea why these issues were happening. Began seeing multiple doctors who struggled to find a diagnosis. In March of 2021, after 8 exhausting years filled with falls and frustration, this is what he says. I was diagnosed with limb girdle muscular dystrophy 2L. Now he says, now this is what he says. Now at the age of 30, I was faced with the harsh reality that I have not was living with a rare disease that didn't even have any treatment or cures, and that I was permanently permanent disability. Although the narcotic clarity is sent me throughout some of the darkest and toughest times of my life, I was fixed it on the past, focusing on all my losses instead of celebrating any of the wins. It was also the character for me to act like this, and I really want to break out of the funk that I was in. This is what it says. During the time that I noticed my body changed physically, I needed a new outlet to help cope. I turned to the kitchen and began to harness my energy into becoming a better home cook and baker. He says, I joked that I traded in my jersey for an apron. Pizza making especially became a passion for me, he says. It helped me find calm amidst the turbulence I was experiencing and would become the fuel that powered my renovation. He says, I decided to use my newfound love for cooking as a way to share my story to help raise fund and awareness for MDA by collaborating with Chicago restaurants. I created a pizza apply named The Tripping Billy, poking fun at my belly issue, and it was featured on the menu at Polly Geese here in Chicago. It helped raise 3,000 alone that month, but more importantly, helped me realize that cooking could be my voice to inspire and advocate that my voice has power. He says, flash forward a year and a half. Says, I have done over 35 collaborations around Chicago, and the Tripping Billy has been featured at 13 different pizzas, helping raise over 42K for NDA in progress. I hope to inspire people that in the face of change, you can reinvent yourself and do positive things. I agree with that. I've grown so much in the past year since my LGMD diagnosis. There are 5 things I want everyone to know about being diagnosed with neuromuscular disease, which I feel like it's crazy to think. You imagine living most of your life without a disability, without having a trace of having this progressive disease. For me, it's different because I was born with it, since day one. But imagine living your whole life without a disability and you getting diagnosed. It's hard to adjust. Imagine, that's why I thought it was a good video. Imagine going from being an able-bodied person to being diagnosed with some type of muscular dystrophy or any type of disability. Man, it really it's tough, to transition from that like that and stuff like that. But anyways, this is what he says. 1.1, he says, okay to grieve. The mental hurdle of being diagnosed with neuromuscular can sometimes overweight the physical. It took me a bit to go through the stage of grief, but through therapy, I learned that it's okay to grieve. Some days will be harder than others. I believe that all you can hope for is more good days than bad. If that's the case, you're winning, he says. Then it's another second thing he says, there's nothing wrong with accepting help. I always try to do it alone. Unfortunately, that's not possible. It could no more harm than help. Last year, I made a decision to start carrying a cane to protect me from falls. I also know my physical limitation. Now, when a hand reaches out to assist me, I will grab it instead of turning it away. Whether it's a mobility aid, handicap place card, or a helping hand, it's okay to accept the help. Third, he says, you're not alone. I thought I was for so long, but once I connect with MDA and throughout the power of social media, I met many people in real life virtually living through similar things. It can be both confronting and inspiring to see others navigate life. Yes, it is. I'll agree with that. Four, find what works well for you. What has worked for me in my journey may not be the best for you, although you may have the same diagnosis as someone else. Exactly. So many other factors can differ. Exactly. I learned that many years ago. You can have the same disability, or you can go be going through the same things when it's not related to disability. You know, some people are going through addiction right now. You know, some are going through a disability like myself. Even if they're like dealing with the same issue, they have other factors that can differ. And I feel like people sometimes lose sight of that. Sometimes because you see someone with a similar disability, you think, oh, he deals with the same factor, which is not true. You can have the same issues, dealing with the same factors, but it can be different. Not the same factors. I mean, the same diagnosed, but different factors differ. You can have the same disability, but you can be going through a whole different journey despite having the same one. It may take time to navigate, but find what puts you in the best position to succeed. Adjust and adapt. I think that's a key one. When you have muscular dystrophy throughout your life, you have to adjust and adapt. The way I see it, I'm a huge sports fan, and especially football. Football, you have to adjust in the second half. If you're losing, you got to adjust. Whatever you got to adjust, and you have to adapt to the condition, the weathers. But in we're talking about the disability form, you have to adjust because you have to. There's no other way. You know, it's hard, but you have to do it. But find something that works for you. Don't just adjust. Adjust to something that you feel like you can adapt. That's my opinion on that. Let's see what he says. I'll think maybe differently. There are ways to I return to the basketball court after thinking I lost it forever by teaching us how to shoot flat footed. It may not does not be the same as it once was, but it's something it brings me so much joy. Don't let anything stop you. That's what he says. I thought that was a cool story to hear. You know, going from what you may call it, going from being a healthy person throughout your life, you know, and stuff, and now having to deal with this diagnosis that came all of a sudden. But let me ask you this, you guys: do you guys believe things happen for a reason? You know how he was diagnosed with some type of muscular dystrophy. And then he created his own pizza place. And he has helped donate so much money to the MDA, to a good cause. you know, the organization, the nonprofit organization that's fighting against muscular dystrophy every day. I feel like things happen for a reason. Maybe basketball wasn't his path, but this was where he needed to be, and stuff like that. I believe that it happens for a reason. Maybe that's why I'm here doing YouTube for a reason, and stuff. But the future will say what was the purpose of me doing YouTube. Man, I feel like this is the place where I had to be. not graduate and get my bachelor's degree and stuff. No, it was to create content talking about my story, talking about different topics about muscular dystrophy and disability, doing other projects related to, about talking about my disability and stuff. So, yeah, things can change in a blink of an eye, you know. You one day you're healthy, and the next day you have a terminal illness, a progressive illness, or sometimes you might, or if we put it in other words, you can be broke, but all of a sudden that your luck can change in a blink of an eye. You go from broke to being a rich, successful person, or you can go downhill from being a successful person to being, you know, a broke person. Stuff like that. You can be able to walk, and the next day, be in a wheelchair. It's how life is. Life is unpredictable. You think nothing bad's gonna happen. You think you're always gonna have positive things happening, but that's not true. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to come back even stronger and more positive. You know, it's not. Like I'm saying, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to come back stronger and be a better person and a more positive person. Things happen for a reason. I feel like. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride.